It's the news we all woke up to today. Donald Trump won the US election and will be... Hey, come on, guys. He won the vote, including the popular vote. We all just have to live with it. Yes, he is going to be their next president.
And every citizen, I will fight for you, for your family, and your future. Every single day, I will be fighting for you, and with every breath in my body, I will not rest until we have delivered the strong, safe, and prosperous America that our children deserve and that you deserve.
Yeah. Come on, guys! You know, actually, the reaction here in the UK has been very interesting, but we will get into that in just a minute. But anyway, Prime Minister Keir Starmer has already congratulated Trump on his historic victory as he's set to return to the White House. Cole, how did you feel when you woke up to the news this morning? Remember that we are on daytime TV.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think the name Trump is good for that particular man. How did I feel? I mean, I was going to say I was shocked. I wasn't shocked. I thought that she had a really good chance, but I don't know. There was something that I feel terrified for the women of America. I feel really terrified for them. And if I was living there now with my young daughter, I would probably be looking for ways to leave. So on that front, I hate everything he is regarding women. I don't like the man. However, I don't live there. I don't know necessarily what their economy's like, and I've heard through you today that the cost of living is through the roof.
Huge.
So maybe that's what people are voting for, is for the cost of living.
Yeah.
I think the woman's situation is another aspect, and I think it's something that I can have a surname.
Kamala.
I think that's what she very much focused on and hoped for, that's what people would vote for, and I think probably the majority of women did. Do I like him as a person? I think it's absolutely embarrassing that a convicted felon has now become the president of the United States. And to me, that just smells of money and power, and it can buy you anything, including the law, and that's what scares me. However, I think he's also narcissistic enough to take on other world leaders and not be scared of them. And I think we need that in such a powerful country.
I think it's interesting to sort of talk about, you're sort of saying, you're fearful if you were a woman that you'd want to leave, but he is very popular with women in America. And that's not something that we can ignore, but what we also can't ignore is the cost of living, and it tends to be women that sort the daily groceries, do the weekly shop, that sort of thing. And when I went to visit my sister in Florida back in July, and she was talking to me about how expensive food was, and I didn't quite get the levels to which it was so expensive. But then two things happened. Her partner was cooking a big meal for us because there was loads of cousins and friends and stuff, and he was cooking some oxtail. And she just says, I'm really worried about him buying all of this oxtail because oxtail is very, very, very expensive here. For a pack of oxtail, it's almost double the price that we would be paying here. And he said, for him to be cooking this meal for us, I know he's going to have spent a lot of money, and I don't really want him to feel like he has to. But the second thing I think that you guys will connect with is when I went to the supermarket, that's when I got it. And I went to just buy some food for the house and got to the chiller cabinet, which is where they have their eggs. Yeah. They store their eggs in the fridge there. And for a pack of 12 eggs, the price was equivalent to £9.
Wow.
So you compare that to eggs here, and a pack of, like, regular eggs that isn't, like, sort of in the essentials range or anything, you're looking at about £3.50. For the same eggs, they are paying £9 a pack. If you were a woman doing the weekly shop, the monthly shop, yes, you may not agree with the other policies and what he may well stand for, but when you're thinking about how to feed your family, you are worried. And if he gives any kind of inkling or a little shred of light that things may well change, then that's something that you're going to listen to, isn't it, Judy?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, a lot of people are shocked. But I think there's one thing you've got to understand about Trump, is that he came with a brand. Like, before he was, trying to become a president, or, even before that, he had a brand, and I think that's what gave him that popularity. It was like a popularity almost contest, and I think that's what kind of pushed him past the mark. And some of his ideas and ideologies are absolutely absurd and crazy. But I think what you're saying in regards to pushing that aside and thinking about the basics of the financial needs in America, I think that's what won a lot of the points for him. And I think the other thing, I know this sounds ignorant and really small, but just the stuff like her name, Kamala, everyone getting... Did I say it right?
Yeah, you said it right.
Kamala, everyone getting her name wrong, this whole thing about her name and where she's from, I think that really kind of, like, put people off when it came to...
You could argue about that with Barack Obama.
Yeah, but
so
I think
it
it
took
was...
people a long time to pronounce Barack correctly.
Yeah.
And his family is also from elsewhere. But perhaps the key here is it's a woman.
It's a woman, but I think that was something that people kept on using to kind of distract from actually what her brand or what her policies. They were so focused on, is it Kamala, is it Kamala, and that it kind of took away, you know, the focus on what she was trying to deliver. And I think there was a lot of endorsements from celebrities, and maybe that was something that people felt like they wasn't as connected to because they wouldn't understand what those people are going through regular life. But, you know, I think it's definitely the worry. I think you're right, Charlene, that they wasn't ready for a woman of colour to be in power, and I think that we just have to really just watch this space and pray for people's safety at this stage because it seems a bit crazy.
What do you reckon?
I think Trump is a businessman, isn't he? He's very successful in what he does. He had us all glued when he was doing his Trump Towers and everything else, and everybody loved him. And I think that he's got a good gift of the gab, and so I think that's why, you know, and he says... he's a doer person, whereas people didn't know the Harris administration to know what they were going to do or if they weren't going to do. So that's why I think she's come in on the back foot, I think, as well, from the end of the administration before, where they, you know, Biden, they literally basically destroyed him at the end of his office. So I think she was always going to be on the back foot. Plus she's a woman. Plus she's black. Plus she's just got everything going against her. And plus she went with all these, as you say, endorsements.
Yeah.
I want to hear from you. I want to hear what you're going to do. I don't want to hear what Beyonce's going to do.
It's interesting. He is the populist candidate, and she tried very desperately to become a popular candidate with all the celebs, and it just didn't work.